Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many surprising moments as well as emotional sequences in this movie by director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So as we get closer to the release of Episode 9, a lot of people are getting more excited about this movie and exactly how the revelations are going to be executed in Episode 9 when it comes to Star Wars lore, such as Force, Jedi, and Sith lore, that is going to be introduced in greater depth in Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams, which honestly is a great thing because at the end of the day, I think a lot of fans love the mythology of Star Wars. Everything related to the Force, the Jedi, the Sith, I mean, what's not to like about all those different elements of the Star Wars franchise. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Kylo, the Knights, and even Darth Vader. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, where it said that they are traveling into the Dark Spire, a large castle-like structure that holds the origins of the dark side and the shrines of the Sith. The next goes over Kylo and his knights discovering a large Darth Vader statue, where it's described that inside of the statue, created decades ago by Sith renovators, contains many of Vader's relics that were stored away. Kylo opens the part of the statue that allows him to get his hands on certain items of his grandfather, where one of which is said to be a device that holds a strong connection to the spiritual realm, as well as the history of the galaxy and the beyond. Vader was said to have collected this during his time of meeting Snoke inside one of the dark temples in the Outer Rim that also holds the secret and key to immortality. The device is best described to be in the form of a cube with triangular spikes on each corner that glows in a red hue. The object is said to contain thousands of years of knowledge that is old, that contains a dark side energy that radiates from it and that is described to overwhelm Kylo Ren at a certain point in time in the second act of the film. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this for 1 second here, is because we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a film that's going to have a lot of these different twists and turns that are going to make us look back at The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens in a different light, which I've always expressed that this could very well be a very risky thing for Disney and Lucasfilm, and whether or not that's a good risk is a big decision on the fans' part, right? You know, it's all a matter of execution, it's all a matter of how it's going to resonate with the fans around the world. So let's go over this device. Now, this device is said to have a strong connection to the spiritual realm. Now, we actually talked about this lightly earlier today, that the very last Darth Vader comic in 2018 featured Darth Vader going over into the spiritual realm, and that was all related to the character of Lord Momin, Darth Vader's castle, and the Sith Temple, or the cave, if you will, that resides under his fortress on Mustafar. So you could really see all the connections that they are trying to really introduce into Episode 9, and to really evolve all of the different callbacks, not just to the past 8 Star Wars movies, but also to the comics, the novels, the books, you name it. So this is really great because JJ, at the end of the day, he loves to do wild and crazy things when it comes to the conclusion of whatever TV series or set of films or just a movie that he's connected to, whether it be any kind of TV series like Fringe or Lost or Westworld, whatever have you, right? Anything that he's really attached to, a lot of the endings of those projects really do some amazing things. And of course, you know, there are certain decisions that were made for those TV shows and those different projects that a lot of people disagreed with. So, like I've always said, it is a big risk for Disney and Lucasfilm to explore the history of the galaxy and this object that has a connection to the spiritual realm. Nonetheless, though, guys, I gotta say, I'm very impressed with all of this. I love the Sith lore and the Force lore and everything around those lines. That's gonna give us better answers as to exactly what Vader went through after the events of Order 66 and what he actually collected over the years. Now, this device is actually said to have been given by Supreme Leader Snoke that was handed down to Darth Vader, which also connects to what we went over just a couple of days ago about the Dark Temple in the Outer Rim that Darth Vader actually traveled to where Snoke actually had messaged Darth Vader through and across the entire galaxy to his TIE Advanced Fighter that Kylo Ren eventually discovers. So what I like about this is that you can really see how all the characters are really beginning to have this connection. It seems like that Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to set this up to be something around the lines of the MCU, where a lot of the characters hold connections or have crossed paths before in the past that fans never got to see, before the events of a specific movie. So with Episode 9 being something similar in that sense, it really does open up one's eyes as to exactly where does this leave us off at the very end of Episode 9, and where are things going to go for the future of this franchise. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.